It's a whole nother week with the best way to smoke, the weekly news. Sponsored by Cali Guard. Stop drinking spit. Oops, my bad. Stop smoking spit. No, this y'all weekly news presented by Serpo Jr.
Big J.
And right into it. New York approves new retail licenses for cannabis farmers market. New York is like stepping that game up.
Yes, it
Up.
is.
New
So many
York,
ways.
man, New York cannabis regulators this week approved more than 200 additional retail dispensary license and adopted new rules that will allow cannabis growers to sell directly to consumers at farmers markets. Man, characterizing the moves as bold actions to swiftly grow the state's legal cannabis market, the New York State Cannabis Control Board, CCB, that's a cool little acronym for us Southern
Criminal
Californians.
Courts Building,
Oh shit,
downtown LA.
man. But back into it. The New York Cannabis Control Board and the Office of the Cannabis Management announced the developments on Wednesday in a bid to shore up the state's licensed marijuana operators. At a meeting on July 19th, the board approved 212 additional conditional adult retail dispensaries license, bringing the total number issued to 463 under an initiative spearheaded by New York Governor Kathy Hochul. The state's first license for retail weed shops have been reserved for individuals most impacted by the unjust enforcements of the prohibition of cannabis or nonprofit organizations whose services include support for the formerly incarcerated.
Mhm.
So that's cool. It's like these former markets you go to, it seems like they being real innovative though. And
Out there.
man, really. And if they issuing out these little small retail license to go to these little farmers markets, if you look at a bigger picture, New York economy is growing.
Yeah. Facts. Because in California, a while back they passed it to where you can go to the farmer markets, but you can't sell your shit though.
Yeah,
You
but
can lead them to where to go sell it though. Here, that's like you said, it's way more innovative in New York doing their thing, man. You know what I'm saying
I
with that?
forget the bill number, but we do have one. You know what I'm saying? If you grow and it's less than an acre,
Uh huh.
they have farmers markets like for that. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
but
But
you
it's no
can't
more than
sell.
an acre. No, you can't sell?
Yeah, we talked
Oh
about that on the
shit.
news last time. You can't sell it, but you can advertise your shit
Oh
there.
man, that's boo
You know
boo.
what I mean? Yeah, for real. Moving on. Doctors to begin trial for psilocybin therapy to treat cancer-related anxiety, depression. The mental toll from a cancer diagnosis can be debilitating as the disease itself. A group of medical doctors from the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston will soon explore a psychedelic remedy for the trauma. That's good though, you know what I'm saying? Before I continue that you know, it's a lot of good things that's going on with these I'm gonna say medicines that can help people, that people frowned on for so long.
Well
Oh
put. Well
man,
put.
late stages associated with poor prognosis, along with chronic side effects of treatment, often leave women with extensive uncertainty stemming from unpredictable disease trajectory and continuous fear of death. They wrote nothing the recent case of a patient in her late 30s identified in a commentary as JN with end stage ovarian cancer who was seen at their facility in Houston. A recent study published by the Cambridge University Press found that psilocybin assisted therapy could be a cost effective option relative to other forms of therapy. Psilocybin was shown to be cost effective compared to the other therapies when the cost of therapist support was reduced by 50%, and the psilocybin price was reduced from its initial value of 400 to 800 per person. From a societal perspective, psilocybin had improved cost effectiveness compared to a healthcare perspective. The researchers wrote. Another study released in the spring found that psilocybin mushrooms could be an effective treatment for those with obvious compulsive disorders. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing about the psilocybin is something that just could be grown in a dark place, in
Mm-hmm.
a room or something like that, though. So it don't cost a lot of money to produce. And I know, big pharma is probably like, fuck,
Hmm.
man,
Look, before we move on, outside of this right here, like you stated, you're gonna call what you call it like the medicines, right?
yeah,
Like in the best way to smoke world, let's try to use that. You know what I'm saying? We can change the whole narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because if we do refer to it as a medicine, because
yeah,
it's treating
right,
multiple things. So if you use medicine instead of like weed, cannabis, or whatever it may be, we can probably change the perspective a little bit.
yep, I can
You know
see
what I'm
that,
saying? And that's kind of,
sure,
and that's like I picked that up from Big J. Y'all seen it right here.
yep,
The medicine.
the medicine.
Number of federal cannabis prisoners has decreased by 61% over the past 5 years. Recently, the Justice Department Bureau of Justice Statistics, BJS, reported that the percentage of people in federal prison for cannabis convictions has dropped 61% between 2013 and 2018. The data was featured in an article published July 13th entitled Sentencing Decisions for Persons in Federal Prison for Drug Offenses, 2013-2018. BJS Director Dr. Alex Picuro explained that the decrease of people with cannabis-related convictions in prison was the most significant drop in comparison to other substances. Although the number of people in federal prison for drug offenses decreased over this 5 year span, they still accounted for a large share, almost half. Almost half of the people in the Federal Bureau of Prisons custody in 2018, said Picuro. At the same time, we saw differences by the type of drug involved, with more people incarcerated for heroin and methamphetamines. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm. Methamphetamine.
Methamphetamines, and fewer for marijuana and cocaine. So pretty much, let me just rewind a little bit. More people were incarcerated for heroin and methamphetamines,
Mm-hmm.
and fewer were locked up for marijuana and cocaine.
Cocaine.
In the same time period, crack cocaine imprisonments dropped by 45%, powder cocaine dropped by 35%, and there was a 4% decline for those in prison for opioids. On the other hand, heroin has increased by 13% and methamphetamine increased by 12%.
Hmm.
I don't know what I'm probably getting up out of that is maybe people is getting a lot more knowledge about cannabis.
Right.
I'm just speaking towards a little cannabis or whatever it may be, because it's I don't know it shouldn't really be. I don't believe that medicine should be used in the same context as
Man,
methamphetamines,
I was thinking the same
heroin. You know what
thing.
I'm saying? Like
Yep. I was
even
thinking the same
cocaine.
thing. Right.
Like it shouldn't
And
even
then how they
like
said, oh, marijuana and cocaine. Like,
yeah
what the fuck?
that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
No,
medicine.
it is medicine. Psychedelic toads invade Arizona after monsoon season kicks in. The Sonoran Desert toad, with glands secreting a venom rich in the hallucinogen 5-MeO-DMT and buff, buffleton is invading Arizona now that monsoon conditions have kicked in for the late summer. They can measure up to 7 inches long and have a low pitch croak that invertibly serenades the night in multiple states during hot wetter months. Damn. That motherfucker look crazy. It look like
Man,
cuz of local news, not you though. You know what I'm talking about. Local news stations are reporting a surge in Sonoran Desert toads population now that the rain has started. Reporters focus in the poison danger to pets, and well as the temptation for teens to try it for its psychedelic properties. Now, let me ask you a question. Would you lick a frog for the psychedelic properties?
I played the fifth.
Okay, so please refrain. This is what they saying, though. They saying please refrain from licking the toads. The National Park Service warned last November. Toad licking has become so popular that they are considered threatening by the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish, and they are considered endangered in California.
Yeah. Only reason why I say I plead the fifth on that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like when I even first came into the psychedelic, you know what I'm saying,
Right,
the shrooms or whatever, and I like looked up what psilocybin, the hallucinogen like was,
right.
they actually related it to toad shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if we out just say you just eating natural shrooms and shit, you out there, you like, oh, I found some. There's a
I found some.
there's a strong possibility of fraud and shitted on that.
Man,
So, you know what I'm saying?
look how he looking too, though. You know
We,
what I'm saying?
we
He
just
like,
gonna we just
shh,
gonna keep that between, you know what I'm saying, us shroom consumers.
man. Moving on.
Marijuana is subject to the same restrictions as LSD, heroin, and ecstasy. Schedule 1 prevents research. And we were just talking about this.
Yep.
Currently classified as a Schedule 1 drug, cannabis slash marijuana slash medicine is subject to the same restrictions as LSD, heroin, and ecstasy. The impact of Schedule 1 classifications on research. The Schedule 1 classification significantly impedes scientific research on cannabis. Significantly impedes scientific research on cannabis. They steady trying to just make this
Hmm.
to the top. To conduct studies involving cannabis administration to human participants, researchers must navigate a complex approval process involving the Food and Drug Administration, the excuse me, the Drug Enforcement Agency, and the National Institute of Drug Abuse, in addition to approvals from their own institutions and state governments. This bureaucratic process often takes several months, delaying research projects that already require considerable time to complete. The path to change, recognizing the limitations, the DEA opened the door American companies opened the door for several American companies to produce cannabis for medical and scientific research in 2021. Additionally, President Joe Biden, pardoned to individuals previously convicted for federal offenses related to simple marijuana possession, indicates a shifting perspective
Hmm.
on cannabis. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm looking at this, it's kind of like wishy-washy. You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds as if like they trying to talk to bring like more awareness to like research it. But then at the same time, they steady putting in relations to LSD and other stuff.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they just try to hurry up and put the cannabis up in there, you know what I mean? And then just like, oh, LSD, heroin, ecstasy, but such and such
And we
with
know why.
cannabis.
And we know why, though, right?
Man, for a bunch of bullshit.
Because it's a Schedule 1. Motherfuckers.
That's your weekly news.
Man.
Serpo Jr.
Big J.
Baby, baby.